Hello everyone. A number of you have asked me to look into the possibility of doing Linux videos. And for the longest time, I've kind of put off doing Linux videos because I don't want to. If I'm going to be brutally honest, I have a Mac, I have a PC, I have a Linux box, which I use as a network file share, um, which does, I don't have anything on there. I just have a couple of things there. I have written, do I have it? I don't have one of my books right here. I've written a book on the Raspberry Pi. I've written a couple of books on the Raspberry Pi, one an ebook, one an actual published book by Apress. Links in the show notes below. Um, and so I have done Linux, and I have no animosity towards the operating system whatsoever. I use Mac predominantly at work and PC at home, although I'm moving more and more towards the Mac, just because this machine is an i5. The machine I'm recording this on is an i5, and it's a bit slow. My Mac's a bit faster, being an i7. So, yeah, anyway, I have no animosity towards any particular operating system, other than the fact that I don't want to I don't want to be the guy that has to do videos for every single operating system. That being said, the people have spoken, and this is the state of play. So, I've been asked a few times to make networking videos for Linux. Is that something you'd be interested in? 59%, which I think is a quorum. That's a resounding yes. It says yes, please. 14% says no. So to the 14% who are watching this video, you can turn it off now. If you're not interested in Linux, uh, that's fine as well. And another 27% said I'm not bothered either way. 63 votes, which is that's okay. Um, so I thought it would be very timely because also in the news, and I've got a couple of tabs here which kind of alludes to what I'm going to talk about, is that Linus Torvalds, who was 21 or something, he's about the same age as me, when he created Linux. He took the GNU applications, and then he took his Linux kernel and created a Unix-like operating system. The thing that was missing, GNU has been around for years. If you look up Richard Stallman, he's he talks about free software, free as in um, liberty type freedom, like freedom of speech, that kind of thing. You can still charge for it, and you can still buy things for it, but the software itself should be user maintainable. You should have access to the code. So there's like free and open software. So there's oh well, actually his thing anyway. Richard Stallman's a good guy to he's the he's a bit crazy because most people like that who have a sort of a deep-seated passion, much like your pal here, Linus Torvald, um, are a bit, like he won't drink Coca-Cola and things like that. Anyhow, I'm getting off topic. This is all about Linus Torvald. So Linus Torvald, he's quit Linux basically because he's been ousted in some would say political move. I don't really know the full story, but I do know that he is a little bit brusque with people. I remember a famous thread where a guy asked a fairly innocuous question, why don't we use C++? And he basically went, "'Cause your mother uses C++," and like really attacked the guy. And like it was like ad hominem attacks, and it was like there was no need for it. It was just like we don't use C++ because it's bloated and it does too much. We need something that's a bit closer to the metal, and C does the job better than that. But instead, he went after the guy. So apparently, this is a thing that he does is he attacks people. However, in the light of all of that, Linux developers have threatened to pull the kill switch. So there's something built into the GPL license, I believe, that says that you can actually pull um, your software from Linux, which is a bit of which is not good, because that means that if you start pulling things from Linux, then things stop working, and businesses don't like that. Um, the Mac going back to the Mac runs on Unix, not Linux. They are very similar operating systems, but they are similar in look and feel rather than architecture. Um, I, I think it doesn't matter. Let's not bother getting into that. It's all to do with how the kernel is organized. But anyway, so apparently Richard Stallman, the guy I was talking about earlier on, he says that the license revocation threat has teeth. So basically, it's the problem with this type of thing is the fact that it affects everything. So if you have, for example, I have in my hand two devices here, both by Samsung, bizarrely enough. That's a Google Nexus, and this is just a normal, like Samsung S7, I think it is. They run Linux, and and Linux is in a bit of a bind at the moment because I'm sure it will probably come to nothing. But it's a it's a good kicking off point for me to start a Linux a Linux series. So in this episode, which I'm completely waffling on about because I really don't want to start installing Linux at this point in my life. But here we are. People have asked me for the video, so I'm going to do it. And I'm going to kick off running this. Now, what I did was, I'll just show you guys where I went to. I went to Ubuntu. I used Ubuntu, ubuntu.com, I think it is. The leading operating system here, and I went to developer, develop with Ubuntu. This is a kind of roundabout way to get to it. I did notice that they dropped, they used to have Unity 7, which not to be confused with the Unity that this channel is predominantly does videos for. It's now using GNOME Shell as their interface. So it'll be interesting to see what's what there. So all the tools that the developer needs. What does it say? I'm gonna go Skype, Microsoft, blah 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 blah. So it's got Docker and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's kind of Unixy type stuff. Then I clicked on Get Ubuntu Now. And then what I did was, instead of clicking the big download button there, I actually used BitTorrent, mainly because the last time I downloaded this, I didn't have BitTorrent installed, and it took forever to download. So instead, what I did was I went to the alternative downloads, and I scrolled down a little bit down there, and I got this one here, the desktop 64-bit there. There are other ones as well, but that's the one I chose there, which is 18.4.1. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to provision a Hyper-V manager. Now, this is Microsoft's virtual machine things. I have no idea how to do this because I can never remember. So this is going to be fun getting this started off. But really what I could do is I could take the ISO image that I downloaded, which is on my H drive. Oh no, that's over here. Which is on my H drive, which is over here. And you see that I have my 64-bit ISO image over here. And I'm going to try and create something from this. So let's try this now. So virtual machine. Before you begin, do one of the following. Click Finish to create a virtual machine that's configured the default, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to click Next. New virtual machine. I'm going to store that in a different location as well, which is going to be, do I have VMs here? VMs, I do. Okay. So I'm going to call this Ubuntu Dev Machine. And I'm going to store it in this location, which is on my H drive. And I'm going to click on Next, and generation 1 version. I don't know what that means. I'm going to go with generation 1. Please leave a note in the comments if I have chosen poorly. Startup memory, I'm going to give it 4096, which is twice as much as the minimum version. So if we go back to the web page there, It does actually say in here, so it needs, let me just zoom in a little bit. So it needs a 2 gigahertz dual core processor or better, I think. I'm not sure. Properties. What do I have? Oh yeah, okay. So I have a 3.3 gigahertz i5 2500, so 3.3, so that's fine. So 2 gigahertz dual core processor or better, 2 gig system memory, 25 gig of free hard drive space, either a DVD drive, blah, 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 blah. Internet access is helpful but not required. I'm assuming it's going to be more than helpful, but never mind. I'm going to use dynamic memory because I think that means that it's, unless I use 4 gig of memory, it won't use 4 gig of memory. Again, comment below. I do want connection, so I'm going to choose default switch. I don't know what these are. I'm assuming at some point in this computer's life I have set these things up. Windows 10 outside networking, that sounds about right. Or default switch. Let's choose default switch. Okay, Ubuntu dev machine, virtual hard drives, 25 gig free. So let's make that 50 because I'm not really going to be doing anything with it. Okay. Install an operating system later. Install it from here. So I will install it from where are we? Linux images, ISOs. This one here. And then click on next. So it's giving me the little review screen, and then I'm going to click on finish, and it'll go ahead and create that machine for me, I hope. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it on. So I'm going to click on connect, and here we go. Let's start that. So I don't know how stuttery this video is going to get because I'm now effectively running two machines. I'm running the operating itself and then a virtual machine underneath it. So hopefully it won't be too bad, but we'll see. I'm probably going to cut down this sequence as well. So if you start hearing me sounding like a chipmunk, then you'll know that I've sped it up. Because otherwise, we're going to be sitting here for ages. No? Okay, so things are happening. Okay, I'm going to blow this up a little bit. Okay. All right, okay, so it's been a while since I've used this machine, so it feels like I'm running remote terminal. So it looks like I can minimize and do all that kind of stuff there. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to choose English is the default language. Try Ubuntu. I want to install Ubuntu. Okay. It's all fascinating stuff, this. Okay, I think we've booted into graphics mode now. Or maybe that was just full desktop. Who knows? I have a cursor, so I think that's graphics mode. It's a bit sluggish, which I'm assuming is because my machine's not that powerful. Okay. Was this Eager Beaver or something? I'm pretty sure I chose English before, but whatever. Okay, so I'm going to click on continue. English US, continue. Well, it's got the right right-ish time. I think it thinks I'm in someplace else. Install third party. Okay. Continue. Yeah, erase disk and install Ubuntu. And again, I'm working on a virtual machine, so it's not like I'm installing on this machine. So, and then click on install. Okay. Yeah, continue. I am in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. That's me. I'm not really in Toronto, but it's close than I am. Okay, my name is Sloan Kelly, and this is going to be Ubuntu Virtual Machine 1. Pick a username, that's good enough. And then the password is going to be password. I know. Password. Should we make it password, or let's make it? Alright, make it my default password. Require my password to log in, and then click on continue, or I can just get it to log in automatically. I'll get it to log in automatically. I mean, it's only going to be me on this virtual machine, so. Okay, here we are. So I need to restart the computer. So let's restart now. All right. Okay. So here we have Ubuntu. I have no idea because this is all completely different to me. So works differently from older versions. Okay, so this is kind of good, I guess. Canonical. Would you like to set it up? No, I don't want to set it up. No, don't send system info. Open software. Okay. Okay. Developing with C++ Ubuntu. Right. What's the shopping list of things we need to do? How to set up a C++ development environment in Ubuntu. Ubuntu. Ideally, I'd like it to be Visual Studio Code because I'm kind of familiar with that application, but who knows? Okay. You must install build essential package in case of various software you will need to compile programs, including GCC and G++ compilers. Okay. Normally, build essential should also already be installed in your system to make sure do this. Okay. So I'm going to do exactly what that says there, which is sudo. So this is a super user do apt get. I think that means application get install Build Essential. So Build Essential is the package name, and I want to install it. And password is that, and 17. Yes. Okay, so this is now going to go away and install a whole bunch of stuff that we need to build C++. Which is fine, because I mean, if you were doing this in Windows or Mac, you would install Visual Studio on Windows and then Xcode on Mac. This is kind of the same thing. So this is really me just trying to set this machine up and get it sorted out. So while that's doing that, let's read some more on here. Okay, so he is compile C++ code in Linux. I want to do that way. Now, I don't want to be that guy, but I don't also want to do that way. So I want to run an IDE, install Eclipse for Ubuntu based on Linux distributions. Okay, should we install that? I mean, he's suggesting Eclipse. Okay, I mean, sure. I think the one that everyone else uses though is code blocks. So maybe we should just install code blocks. Let's get rid of that one. No thanks. Why did that pop up? No thanks. Oh, thank you. Okay, there we go. Finally. Yeah, this looks like a. Jeez. And then click on this, and then click on that, and then restart there, and how are we doing here? Okay, we're still installing. Oh, nope, we've installed. Okay, so now if we go to our application thing here, and then we go to Code Blocks IDE, and then we click on install. And we'll do that. I mean, obviously this is a nicer way of installing things, but maybe that doesn't have build essentials. Maybe we could look for it. Is there a search? Oh, there is. Build essentials, no application found. Enter for build. That's a no then, Ted. And my cursor's gone. Where's my cursor gone? Okay. Oh, this is painfully slow. Is this updating as well? Oh, okay. I don't understand why Amazon has a presence in here. This is a bit weird. Okay. Now, do I have that installed? Code blocks. There we go. Code blocks is installed, but it's not showing up there. Okay, I'm just going to assume that this is all working. Okay, so I'm going to click on code blocks. See what it says. Pops up the splash screen. Okay. Set as default. I'm assuming that's right. Okay. I did say the current one was default. All right. Okay, so let's do new project, and we'll call this, this is a console application, and sure, we're going to make it C++, and it's going to be bare bones server, actually bare bones TCP server, and the folder I want to create it in is inside Sloan, and then we'll call this, did I get to create a folder? Here we go. Source, and we'll call this TCP open, create resulting file name is that. Okay, and then click on next. I'm going to use the GNU GCC compiler because sure. I don't know if this is right or not, and then click on finish. Okay, and then my sources, I should have a main.cpp here. All right, okay, I think that's where we're going to end this video here. So I've successfully installed Ubuntu, and we have this now. So this is part one. Part two, I'm going to write the C++ version of the code for Linux. And so hopefully you'll stick around and join me for part two. Thank you very much for watching, and I do appreciate the views. Thanks for sticking with me on this one. It's been 50 minutes elapsed time here. I'm going to cut a few of the sequences down, but whew. Yeah, this is how you would install Linux on your machine. I'm using a virtual machine. You could quite easily have burned that to a CD or used a USB stick, installed it on your machine, and then you would have Ubuntu ready for development in less than an hour. So to be fair, that's pretty good. I'm quite impressed with that. That's a 2 thumbs up as far as I'm concerned. As far as this operating system is concerned, as well. I mean, it looks fine. It looks like every other operating system I've ever used. It's got things down the left-hand side there. It's a little bit slow, but again, I think that's because just my machine rather than the actual OS itself. I can't make that window any bigger, which is a bit annoying. But that's what it is. So yeah, I think it's just because it doesn't know what the video card is, so it's getting a bit confused. But anyway, thank you again so much for watching. If you liked the video, thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, thumbs down. And I'll hopefully catch you in the next one where we actually do some coding this time. So, oh yeah, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. My Twitter account is below. It's at Codehoose, CODEHOOSE. On Twitter, and you'll get timely reminders if you subscribe, or if you don't subscribe, then you can get timely reminders using Twitter. And don't forget to share as well. That would be great if you could share this video or other videos that you find on my channel that you like. That really helps the channel out. So all that housekeeping out of the way, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye bye.